Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Virixiss here, and I have some wonderful news for you today, brothers and sisters. For praise be unto Gaben, Valve has descendeth upon the Phlog and smitten it with Nerfs. Yes, that's right. The Phlogistinator finally got a Nerf in the latest patch that went out today, January 20th, 2016. A couple of other things got mentioned in the update, and I'll kind of glance over them here. But the main thing is the Phlogistinator received a nerf. Specifically, the Phlogistinator no longer restores player health to max on activation of the oomph meter, and it increases the amount of damage required to fill the oomph meter to 300 from 225. Now, what does this mean for the Phlog? This means a lot of things for the Phlog, quite honestly. For the main thing, this honestly does fix the problem everyone had with invulnerability. Because a Phlog previously could kind of just go into the middle of an enemy team, basically spin in a circle, hit everybody at least once or twice, fill up their meter, hit their taunt, fill up their health, invulnerable for a few moments, and no one can do a damn thing about it. And at that point, they just go around with their insta-kill flames and wipe out an entire team. And this has happened way too many times in pubs. This isn't so much of a problem in competitive play, although I actually have seen a couple of Phlog pyros in the lower ends of things, like an iron and steel, not that that matters too much. But the main thing here is that classes previously that could do nothing about it, I'm looking at Scout, pyros as well, and they can do something about it now, because when a pyro now decides to activate his Phlogistinator charge, yes, he goes invincible. No, he can't be knocked back. That's no longer a problem anymore, because if the guy was at 7 health when he did it and he tried to use the invulnerability to save his life, the Scout backs off 2-3 steps and unloads a pistol into him. That's it. That's all that's going to happen now. And now that you don't have to go through the entirety of a 175 health bar, you know, we're going to see a lot more Phlog counterplay, and it's not going to be nearly as pervasive on the especially on the pub play kind of side of things. It's not going to be nearly as pervasive. It's not going to be nearly as raffle stompy, because now you honestly do have to just pay attention to the Phlog pyro, see when he taunts, and back up a few steps. And if he was at relatively full health, whenever, you know, if you didn't take any pot shots at him, it's just best to run. But if you've been fighting him for 2-3 minutes, and then he taunts it, blow him away with a rocket, or just a body shot, or fucking unload as a heavy. You don't... If you can survive a few seconds away from him, you have a very, very good chance of just completely annihilating him. Now, the downside of this nerf is we're probably going to see a very large resurgence of people doing nothing but spamming Squirt Shot. Once they get that meter filled, then they'll just pop around a corner, hit taunt, and then booyah, there you go. We still have the same kind of problem, but that does shut down the other team from a valuable player for God knows how long it takes to get that many Squirt Shots. I would love to see the Phlogistinator change to where the only way you could fill up that meter would be to only use the Phlogistinator, meaning the damage coming from the Phlogistinator is the only damage source that can fill the meter. Or at the very least, put some kind of decay on the meter itself. So if you're fishing for Squirt Shots and you're getting one, you know, maybe once every 4 or 5 seconds, if you don't get any damage added to your meter, it begins to decay at a rate of, you know, maybe 3 to 5% per second after you don't get some damage. If you're using a Phlogistinator and you're up in the middle of the lines, that's going to be nothing. 3 seconds without it, that's nothing. Especially if you can actually use a flare gun to deal some damage there from distance that you can't reach with your Phlogistinator. So one of those two things I think needs to go in. Either the Phlogistinator is the only weapon that can charge the weapon, or there needs to be a decay. I don't think it needs to be both of these things. I think either one of those will fix that kind of problem. I'm personally all for the Phlogistinator being the only thing, because then you're just down to a WM1 problem, and that's easily solved with situational awareness and teamwork. But the decay, I believe, will also work as well without ruining some of the fun for people who enjoy the Phlogistinator. I personally only use it on MVM because it is the tank killing weapon of choice. I can just sit on a tank and I will kill it before it even touches a halfway point, and that's just generally how it is. And when you're dealing with 2 to 3 tanks at a time, having one person deal with one tank is a huge asset. And so the Phlogistinator is the weapon of choice that I take into MVM, but that's a completely different story. Anyway, that's just the quick update I wanted to go through here. So that's it for today. Just wanted to give this complete update. I'm very, very happy that Valve decided to step forward and say, you know what, the Phlogistinator is a little bit out of control. Here comes the nerf back, because it was severely needed. So thank you, Valve. Thank you for everyone who's sitting around listening to me ramble today. I will see you guys on Saturday with our swim lessons. We're going to be getting our dive suits back on, getting out of Unreal, getting out of Team Fortress. We'll be getting back into our dive suits, and we'll be getting back in the water where we belong. So I will see you all on Saturday, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.